Hello, hello, and
Hey,
we're live.
buddy.
Welcome to another thrilling and exciting episode of YCG Explains.
What are we talking about today, Sean?
Today we're going to be talking about weapons and how we design a weapon and our approach to that. Oh, yeah, and I'm Sean. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Sean, and I'm a designer.
And I'm David. I'm a programmer,
Oh my gosh. And yeah, we're going to be talking about how we approach weapon design for Mina.
which just came out on Friday.
It's
That
just
was
came out.
like 2 days ago, or how, 48 hours ago.
We've been watching reactions online. We did a big giant 24-hour stream before the game dropped. We've been just looking at everything, and it sure has been crazy. The reactions have been really super good. We've been getting great reviews. It sure has been cool finally unleashing the game into the world.
All right, let's jump in and talk about the Buster.
Anyway, okay, yeah,
Um,
weapons. So how do we make the weapon?
yep. So, I mean, if you watched our sidearm one, which is, I think, was our first one, we approach it very much the same way, but this is just bigger, right? It's like one of the core weapons. We knew we wanted to make 5 of these total, and this one was, I think, was just sort of like, how do we fill some of the holes that maybe like other weapons aren't doing? Like, what is this one doing that other weapons can't do? What are like pitfalls that other weapon might have that other weapons don't have? Um, how do we make this one like stand out visually and thematically? Um, and how do we make it like deliberate feeling, like so it still like is in line with like the Castlevania style like feeling that we want to get across in the combat.
Right. Yeah. So one of the biggest, most important things there is here. I'm going to share not your screen. I'm going to share my screen. One of the most important things is like how the weapons all fit in within context of one another, like David was talking about. So like we knew that we had the whip, which is like the regular weapon, the default that everything is measured against. It's like a long range, long wind up attack, like a Castlevania whip. And our all round weapon, everything that we like did it. We did all of our testing and everything like with the whip first. And then we knew we wanted a fast weapon, and so that was the daggers. It's like a short range fast weapon. And then we knew we wanted a slow weapon, that was really powerful, and that was the hammer. And so then, like, what were the other two weapons that we wanted to have? Well, we knew we wanted to have like a switch weapon, right? Like something that could be like a melee and ranged at the same time. I think like sort of Bloodborne inspired was one of the ideas. And then like here it's just like weapon five placeholder. I think this became the shield, right? And you can see there's a bunch of other ideas down here that we combined, I think, into other
Like the
like in the
shield.
other. Yeah, I mean, like here's shield is a shield bash enemies and do knockback. Like here's a blunderbuss, the mode switching weapon, and like the battery bat was basically like based on the blunderbuss, right? Here's some other things that didn't make it, like windmill shuriken, a glaive, a giant syringe. That would have been fun. A Rygar disc. Remember Rygar? A Strider whoosh. Remember Strider? A gunvolt wire. Remember gunvolt? A link sword. Remember link. I guess if it's a ripoff, then we just said no. But yeah, we had a lot of different ideas. A raven, that would have been fun, like summon a creature. But a lot of these ideas ended up becoming a like a sidearm or a trinket anyway.
Yeah,
So
so I mean, with this one, we basically landed on like we knew we wanted to do a Switch thing, right? And we wanted like something in the game that felt more like Zelda, because a lot of people are gonna come in and look at it like a Zelda game. So
right,
we thought like one part could be like sort of like along the same lines. It wouldn't work exactly the same, of course, but like along the same lines of as a Link sword swipe.
right.
Um, and then we wanted that like range part as the other weapon because we knew all the weapons wouldn't have range. So, from there we have that like we brainstormed the idea, and then Sean goes and writes it up in the GDD, tries to figure it out.
Yep, much like I talked about in doing the sidearms and trinkets chats, I'll have ProMotion or art program up, and I'll have all of the sizes of the characters set up in a grid that is the size of the game screen, and I'll just do really lame sketches like this that show how the swipes work or show how large the bullets are or show the directions. Actually, you can tell Alec mocked this one up because it's like much higher in quality, right? I would personally I'd be like, don't waste time making this 50% transparent. Who cares? Just draw it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, Yep. So yeah, we designed each one. The melee one was definitely more like a Link to the Past, where we wanted to have an awkward swing that would swing out to the side. You can see here I specify it goes one tile out, half a tile to each side. We This is actually not how the swing ended up, right? This is like the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah, I think with, like, when I mean, we sort of changed it before it went into art, I think. Uh, I think when we
Yeah,
were looking at this design, we just said, "It's sorta, like, too much like Link to the Past."
right. And having it
Um,
go just this much in front of you like this was also, I think, too close to the other weapons. Like we wanted to have something that was more
right.
offset.
More like, well, little funkier, so it didn't
Right.
feel yeah, it felt like it stood out.
Right. I think the other important thing about this weapon is because it was a switch weapon, it needed to like have a decent range and knock people away so that way you could like get your switch weapon ammo and have space in between you, and so then you could actually switch to the like to the other mode.
Yeah,
So
for I
it
guess
like
generally
pushing you
for
away.
generally, just, like, to give a high concept of the weapon, the way it works is you have these 2 modes. When you hit with the bat mode, which is the melee, then you build up ammo, and you can hold up to 8, bullets, and then in the other mode, you can shoot those bullets pretty rapidly. That's the general idea of, like, the switching.
Mhm. Yep, you can see here some other things that we decided not to have once you get into the blaster mode. We thought maybe she could have a spin. Man, you remember that spin? This was a move that like got implemented, and then we decided that it was like too close, I think, to the hammer roll. You would like spin
Mhm.
around. But right, it wasn't differentiated enough. And this weapon is interesting because it could aim in 8 directions. Like this is the only weapon that can do that. And all of the bullets bounce. I think it was important to make all of the projectiles bounce because when in a game that has really tight spaces with corridors like this, if the bullets just disappeared when they hit an edge, then they would be gone immediately. So you could actually like bank all these shots around. Plus, it's just like fun to bank the shots. Yeah, we wanted to be able to empty it quickly, like metal slug, like a metal slug pistol. It says that's interesting. Let's see what else.
Yeah, so I mean, here we're like trying to decide like what's the range of the weapon, how fast is it, what kind of damage output does it do, like what happens when you hit a guy, do they get knocked back, does the player get knocked back, um, like how big of a anticipation is there before the attack box is out, um, all basically all the nitty gritty of how it might interact.
Right, we'll try and take a stab at all of that, and that would go for like all of the weapons. There's basically just like a list, and you'd be like, hey, how does it interact with each of these things? How does it work when you, and also like, how does it work when you're jumping? And can you do anything when you're burrowing? Like all of the, basically all of like Mina's moves need to be taken into consideration with this attack as well.
Yeah, one of the big, like, complications of this weapon, was essentially the mode switch. We were trying to stick to, in the game, having the 4 face buttons be the controls. So
Hmm.
you have your jump, your attack, your, sidearm attack, and your vial. We were trying to not have more buttons than that. Um, so a lot of this design was sort of constricted around the idea that you would press 2 buttons to switch between them.
Right, you'd have to tap both, which was
Yeah.
always a pain in the butt.
Yes, and, very close to the end, we actually, added an option for, using
It was
one
like the
of the
week. It was
trigger.
like with the week of ship,
Yes, it was like the weekend ship.
the very, very,
Um
very end.
But basically it's still, even with that option, it's still constrained around that idea that it could, you can play with a limited button set. So some of the rules you have, like, for example, like, if you went up where you were before, something that, like, I got sort of cut is, like, being able to aim, like, where you shoot and stuff. It just becomes trickier when you don't have so many buttons to control, like, actions like that.
Can you not do that? Can you not hold an aim anymore, or can you still? I don't remember. Oh no,
I
you
think
can
you can
because you're
you
charged.
can
Like you
after
charge.
Yeah, you can do it when you charge, and I think you can do it a little bit after you shoot, like, but there's some, like, restrictions around how it works just based on, like, what we can allow button-wise.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely a big constraint. Um,
Uh,
Another constraint
uh,
is there are certain things that like all the weapons have to be able to do. Like for instance, they all need to be able to break a block when Mina is like one or two tiles away. So you got to be able to like jump out and like feather it. You need to be able to use them all in a variety of situations. That wasn't too. I don't think that was too much of a problem for this, but like the melee-ness of it certainly made it a little bit harder.
right,
Um,
all the weapons can break secret dirt too,
right. That
that
was
they're
yeah.
the only thing that can do that, and the bullets are like, what do we do there, right? Because they, like, rapidly go over the screen, when they
Right. So it
bounce.
just reveals all the secrets immediately.
Right, so it's like, okay, I guess the bullets don't do that.
Right. But they can hit a
Um,
switch, right? Like if from far away,
yes,
like a
yes.
yeah, like an on-off switch.
Another big constraint is just the idea of having ammo, right? So, like, you what happens when you run out of ammo? So, like, one of the design points here is basically, like, when you run out of ammo, you automatically switch.
Right, but
Uh,
that could be, like, a little confusing, or well, it's not confusing when you change into melee because you're mashing the button and you're like, "Nothing's happening," and then you start meleeing and you're like, "Fine." But if it changed in the other way, like, if you filled up and it automatically changes to the gun, suddenly you're shooting ammo and you, like, might not want to, right?
right. Um, yeah, so that leaves, like, a bit of a trick. And let's see, what else is special? I think that's really maybe it. I mean, so, we take, I guess, like, you mentioned a little bit, like, we decided to put like, you design knockback into it to help, like, counterbalance the idea that you're going to be switching. I guess, like, why have, like, the player get knocked back versus the enemy knocked back, or both? Like, why make those kind of decisions?
Well, I mean, if the enemy gets knocked back, then that's gonna make it easier for you as the player probably, because you can control where the enemy is a lot more. If you're the one getting knocked back, then first off, you can't make any headway if you're like hitting enemies that are in front of you. And if there's like a pit behind you, you get knocked back, which I'm sure many of you have experienced now in Mina. Like you hit something and then go flying back into a pit.
Right,
Uh,
well, and on a note on that too, like, if we do add player knockback, like, we always have the choice to say, like, the player doesn't get knocked back into pits, right?
sure.
Like, why would you choose to let the player get knocked back into a pit or not?
I mean, to, so that way you got to think about the spacing more.
Yeah,
If you're behind it, if there's a pit behind you and you hit it and you get knocked back, then that's like something to think about. And especially like with a weapon like the daggers that we have in Mina, your spacing, it makes your spacing so much more important. Like if you have your back
yes,
against a wall, then you could just like boom 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 and knock guys out
right.
no problem. So it's like
Yes, I
that.
think there were 3 times in the course of the project where where people requested that the daggers don't push you into a pit when you use it,
Right.
and I said every time I was like, "Nuh-uh."
Yeah, I mean, right, and I mean that's such a hard part about game development too. Is people are like, "Oh, I'm so annoyed when this happens." This is like, "Oh, I'm like so this is like this sucks." I'm like angry that but that's it. That's like okay. It's okay that people get upset sometimes, or it's okay that it's hard, or it's okay that like people get like frustrated with it. That's like, I mean, those are like natural human reactions when you're overcoming a tough problem. So it's hard as a developer to
Right,
know
and it's
when is that frustration like too crazy.
right, when it's, like, "Oh, it's just actually bad that it's frustrating," versus, this is something I'm going to learn to overcome, and it's an interesting part of the game."
Right. Yeah. It's even hard to tell, like, when you're observing people, right? They have like a furrowed brow, and then like after they finish the game, they're like, "Whoa, that was like I had so much fun. That was the best thing ever."
Yes.
It's like, wow. Yeah.
Um, Okay, so we write this all up. We got the basic ideas of what it's gonna be, and then we have an asset list, that's hopefully at the bottom of this.
Yep, there'll be there. Well, this is a big long one, so there'll be probably a big long asset list, right? Mina, cool spin, up, right, and down, right? This is what this stands for because Mina needs an up and down facing and like a left and right facing. So Mina is the most complicated character in the game. She faces in every direction. In fact, with the aim, she has to aim in 8 directions, which means you need up, upright, right, and down, and an air version of each one of those. So it's like these animations, they're not 3D. We got to pixel each one of them separately. We can't just like rotate the Mina model around. So they start to add up fast. Fire, mode switch, the slash antic, and the slash. And then we need the projectile. You can see it's 8 by 8 pixels, so that's half the size of a regular tile. It's smaller. And the collision is 2 by 2 pixels to make bouncing even easier. So like we were really thinking about, like a spaceship in a shmup. It has a very, very tiny collision. This is definitely a woefully under detailed asset list. And I'm sure that it got much more detailed out like when the animator actually did it. Should we talk about the floating ammo counter? That's like another weird thing of this.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I was that actually in this GDD? Oh, it is. Oh, maybe this might have come later though.
This came
So
much
some
much later. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so something that, obviously, like, I think initially we thought the HUD, like your sidearms, the HUD can indicate how many, um, bullets you have left in your ammo, container,
Right.
and you have 8 of them, and after we went through and we were playing it, then we are like, well, the people that, like, at Yacht Club Games were
Us.
struggling to know, like, while they're playing it, like, how many bullets they had,
How
which
many
is like
bullets do I have? How close am I to being full? How am I losing them or am I gaining them? What mode am I in? Am I in bat mode or battery mode? There was like a lot. This was like very
you
confusing.
just didn't have enough time and, like, to think, like, to dip your eye to the bottom of the screen to look at those numbers, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. There's no. Yeah. If you looked at and if you looked if you looked down at the HUD, you get blown up. So we decided there was. I mean, this is a tough decision too because it's a huge, giant thing that's over the screen all the time. But yeah, we made an ammo counter that goes around Mina, and we made it like an organic ammo counter. I guess sort of like, like in Hyper Light Drifter, there's that little guy that follows you. Or I feel like in a lot of like games where you have a shooting thing, you have like a little like option. In our type, it's called the option, a floating friend that shows you how much ammo you have. This was like sort of like that, but we wanted it to be like organic. At one point, look, you could see it was like literally, I was like, oh, it'll be like a floating like device that displays the actual number of shots like on a Mega Man style meter, you know?
Mhm.
I don't think you like that though.
I mean, it was like basically, I mean, the challenge here, which I think, it's still like s- pushing the bounds of it, which is like we're in a Victorian world. We wanted to like not have like a sci-fi or like high tech thing that's following Mina around.
That's why
And
that's it's like smoke, it's like gas powered, like
yeah, right. You're like, this is it's like you're making a
come
real
on.
good effort, which is hard. And I guess we also, I think what would have made the most sense is like, and you can sort of see it as like maybe like a creature that is like that. But we really didn't want it to take up space. That was the biggest challenge of it. It's like how
Right,
to make this as tiny as possible.
right. So we
Um,
we eventually
yeah,
just settled on making it like little dots, like literally like 2 by 2 dots. Um, and the dots would appear when they get generated around Mina, and they get spent when they're gone. And we
yeah, and I
decided,
think we sort of thought of them like, like matching in with the electricity or spark stuff that was like generally in the game, right?
right, yeah, it's like little like I don't know charges or something.
Right.
And we instead of having a big like HUD thing, we decided to use the shape language of the dots to help you understand what mode you were in. So it's like when you're collecting them and you're in blue mode, then they're all spinning around you. But like when you're shooting them and then they're all in red mode, they get aligned. And when they're aligned, you could like see which ones there are more easily so that you could see how many you have left. I don't know. We tried it. This is I think it came out pretty good. I think it came out pretty good. It's
Yeah.
maybe a little this is like a little over designed. It's a little over giant pumice, right? Oh no.
What? What did they say?
I mean no, they just said the game is over designed.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I hope it's over design.
It should be no, it should be perfectly evenly designed.
Perfectly, just the right
Right.
amount of design.
Right. But we didn't want them to look like fireflies. We didn't want them to look like protons, right? We just wanted them to look like not obtrusive. So we made them as
Uh,
simple as possible, and we'll show them in game as well.
yeah, okay,
Um,
why don't you show my screen? I'm gonna show you so it goes to, like, animation, um,
okay.
and this one's, like, particularly complex animation-wise, like, not only because it's 8 directions for the shooting, and it's got a bat, and it's got a shot way of and you can do lots of combinations of different directions and blah blah blah. But it's also like you're holding a weapon. So a lot of the weapons have this kind of restriction to them where we want to draw it separately from the player for different reasons. It might be that we want to palette it differently. It might that be that we want to sort it differently. Like we want the bat sorts in front of the enemy here, but behind the enemy in this situation.
Right.
Um,
Okay. So we're looking at our. This is the tool where we import all of the animation and like put it all in sequences.
right.
And it's in two different windows right now because this is separated into two pieces. One that is like the bat that has different
Yeah.
properties
So
than
this
Mina
is the bat,
herself.
right?
What?
Um,
How's an animator supposed to know about all this?
Yeah, so I mean, often, yeah, like I don't. It might maybe it'll be worth showing promotion or something. But what they'll do is I think they'll animate that like this frame, like they'll animate the whole thing together, and then they'll split it up and be like, these are the frames I want to be bat frames, right?
Yeah.
And then export that separately from
Right.
the tool.
Right. So there's like two sets of them, and you overlay them over one another. Which is like I mean, that's like kind of like how Mega Man's face is made, right? He's like a different
Yes,
sprite. It's like Mega Man's face because it was more colors than could be supported by NES's or like, because he's usually blue and teal. They had to like have a whole different sprite that was just his face so they could have it be different colors and like slap it on top of the other one. So we're
right.
carrying on that proud tradition of being too
Um,
complicated.
yeah. So this is like we get a bunch of Sandy, goes in, makes a million animations in every
From every
direction.
direction, from
You
up,
can
from down,
imagine, there's switching animations, there's attacking animations,
barf.
there's shooting animations, there's aiming animations, and, these sprites that, like, when it looks empty, that's, like, because something the gun is filling up that space. One tricky thing about, like, all this implementation is that or, like, art-wise and conceptually, I guess we didn't go over the concept that happened first. We
Hmm.
probably should show that, but,
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
um,
I don't even. Yeah, here. Let me see if I can find that concept art.
we didn't want it to be a gun.
Not a
Uh,
gun. We don't want a gun in the
we didn't
game.
want it to be like, we wanted a thing that you shoot, but we didn't want it to be like, "Oh, I'm excited about murdering people with real life guns." So
It's a
we made it
blaster.
more like a blaster or something, um, a pea shooter. Yeah, so there's just, this a billion animations to make this all work, especially with 8 directions. Um, Something else that's interesting about the art, you can see these like smears. So often like smears help indicate motion of an object. So this smear is actually separate because for the same reasons we draw the bat separate. We might want to sort the smear separately or have a different palette. But the reason you have a smear at all would be to indicate motion. The second reason you'd have it is to help you indicate the hitbox.
Yeah,
Sometimes like the bat itself or the object is moving so fast that having like an after trail of it can help. We might want the hitbox. Let's see. I think the hitbox actually moves for the bat, right?
yeah,
But sometimes you might have a hitbox look like this
right.
the
If you've
whole
ever seen
time.
fighting game hitboxes, they're just like all over the place. You could have a box that just covers that whole space like that.
Right, so you want the smear, like, when you get to this frame, the hitbox might, like, look like this, and you want the
Right.
smear to, like,
Right.
cover
Can you
that
show what a
distance.
smear is? A smear is like
That's
and
what I was
it
showing that,
yeah. Were you showing it already?
I
Like in
was yeah,
animation.
this is
Oh, dude, it's like so it's like so
it's
hard to
very
tell what
hard to
the hell
see.
you're looking at. We'll show it in the real game and you can see. But yeah, I mean the smear shows the entire space of the hitbox. And you can also really cheat like what things are by changing the size of the smear.
Yeah. It's a good yeah, it's a good way like, smears are good 'cause, it's a easy way to, like, fudge, "Oh, we need to change the hitbox, but we don't really wanna change the animation," kinda thing. Um, okay, so, same kinda things same kinda considerations here, like, how many frames does it like, how many frames does it take to switch between the gun and the not? It's, like, often we're dictating this through animation, all these frame counts, these are in 60th of a second. We're helping to these are, like, where a lot of the timings of the gameplay are actually coming from, because we want the animation and the gameplay, like, feel to match, right? You wanna feel ready because the animation says you're ready. Um, alright, and then we go through and we implement that all. I don't know if you wanna show the concept art here. I also have the
Uh
Zelda thing. You can show
yeah,
this.
come on, here, look,
Woo!
let's look at yeah, let's look at that while you got it up. Let's look at how like the bat and like right, like how that works.
So this is like the sword swing in Zelda. We're like, "Oh, we're gonna make" and you could see, like, the initial design that was in the dock is, like, straight up almost this.
Very identical. Yeah.
Right. So it's, like, covering a good arc in front of you, doesn't have, like, great range. When you hit an enemy, um, they bounce, but you don't, right, in this game? Unless yeah, unless you get up
You
in a
stay
blocking
still, I think.
situation, you move. See that? But otherwise, yeah, you stay still and they move.
Right.
Um, very far, very far.
Yeah, you get really
Um,
knocked. And like, I mean, here, hit some of these trees things, so the bushes, just so you can see how weird the hitbox is.
yes, look at, oh,
Why am I
no,
not hitting it? Why am
no,
I not hitting it?
no.
What? Okay, go forward. Now what? What? Your hitbox is actually like very tiny.
I think it's actually different against these bushes.
Dude, what is
Yeah,
happening?
like this would hit an enemy, I'm fairly certain. But that's like part of yeah, see, I hit him there,
That's part of the
right?
fun. That's part of the fun.
That's part of the like, what makes it interesting. I think they do this in Zelda because they wanna make sure you're not, like, breaking out too many of these at once. It's like they're trying to keep the, like, tile constraints
They
here,
don't want
like
you to break the
right.
whole
They
thing.
don't want me to
Yeah.
break this side bush when I'm facing forward, right?
Yeah. But if you hold the button, then you can.
Like this, you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's more like a yeah, they're like I think probably especially because it's, like, very heavy on the puzzles. It's like trying to make sure they're constraining the design in a way.
Right.
Um, okay. Then let's look at this baby in game.
Sure.
Um, so we got the bat. This is it. You got when I'm
Look,
in
there's your
the
ammo.
there's my ammo floating around
Whoa,
me.
it's
It's
all floating. What?
blue when I'm in shoot mode, red when I'm in bat mode,
Right. And look,
and
it
you can see it
changes.
spins just like in the design. See how
It
the
was
bullet
spinning around you in the design.
yeah, I think we didn't want to, like, shift as much.
Yeah. I don't think we didn't want it to like we didn't want it to interfere with Mina or like go over her. So it's like over to the side like this. Man, this was a huge pain in the butt. And like
We
every time
this
Mina goes, every time she goes in and out of the geyser, we have to like turn it on and off. And like when you go in silhouette, you got to like turn it on and off. When the palette changes, it's got to like be different. These four little dots were like such a pain in the
was
butt. There was
very
they made a zillion
yes,
bugs.
yes. Um, okay, so yeah, you can see we changed the bat, right off the bat, pun intended, we changed it to be something that is far more like limited. So it gets like a quarter arc, right?
Well, it might seem limited, but what it's as we saw, Link's sword, despite looking like it goes half the thing, doesn't even hit anything. So like this actually hits in that 90-degree space, which
Right.
gives
And
it a
there's
very
actually
different
yes.
feel.
Yes. And it has like very hard limits to it in a way that I think fits our design better. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's, like, actually places I cannot hit with this bat. Um,
Right. You literally can't
so
hit
you
things that
have
are
to,
like
like,
below you. You have to turn.
think about where your position is in relation to other things. But it's still, like, compared to some, other weapons, like, having this big of an arc is actually, like, a huge bonus compared to other stuff.
Right, right. If you can't hit this, literally hits on a diagonal. Like I saw a tweet of like bats are flying at me on a diagonal and I can't hit them. Like this will literally hit them
Yes,
on
this
a
will get you
diagonal,
covered. This has
but it
got you
has other
covered.
drawbacks, right?
Yes.
That's cool.
Um,
I love that.
yep. So then, yeah, in the swipe, we did both things get knocked back,
Yeah, it pushes you
on
back.
hit.
Even on kill, it pushes you back, man. That's BS. On kill, it should keep you. It should keep you
Sean's
still.
always on kill, it doesn't push you.
On kill, it keeps you still. That's what this, as they
Yeah,
say.
something to think about, like, with the, programming and the movement is, like, um, I'm gonna go into frame stepping mode here, but, like, when I hit something, it's pushing me back, but it actually pushes me back a different amount if I'm holding the button or not. Like, I have a little bit of control here.
What?
That's with a lot of our stuff, or sometimes we don't do that. But like what we're thinking about a lot is essentially like how much control do we want to give the player in the
Right.
actions that are happening?
Yeah.
And that might be different in the air or not, right? Like, oh, in the air or on the like from when you're coming from the air onto the ground. Like how do we treat all those scenarios? And like in how much is the player able to like manipulate what's happening?
Right.
Um, something that's tricky that
It
about
doesn't
this
hit you
stuff.
back when you hit the secret dirt. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Um,
But when you hit
uh,
it from the side, or it hits
um,
you back a lot less.
yeah, something that's like
Oh,
it's
I
because
didn't hit it at all.
um
Sorry.
it's because it's what you're seeing is the difference between when I actually am close to the collision, I get like punished for hitting the wall, and when I'm farther away, I don't get as punished.
Could you
Um,
turn the hitboxes on so we could see it?
yeah, sure, let's do that. Um,
Yeah, look at this.
so these are the attack boxes, and there's a lot of things happening here. Blue is your defense, and red is your attack, and these arrows indicate like what direction it thinks the attack is moving. So like if for example, when that Gooper gets hit, he'll get knocked back in that direction because this is saying I'm hitting in this direction.
Right.
Even though like the attack is like at a diagonal here, right?
We don't make
And
it a weird vector.
yeah, sometimes we choose to do
Sometimes we
weird
do.
stuff. But in this case it's very fixed. Basically just your facing direction. Um and I was gonna say something else weird about it. Some considerations is with the hitbox is that we like when you're hitting in a wall, you can see the reason we have this knockback is because we don't want you to be able to hit through a wall. A lot of our stuff actually hits past one tile. You
Right.
can
They're
see, like, the
longer.
the bat, like, goes through a tile. We wanna make sure you can't hit through a tile, so we have a lot of stuff, like, either it, like, stuffs you like this does, or it literally cuts off the hitbox, like, it might have a different animation, like, you can see that with the hammer.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, like if you hit with the hammer, it actually makes you do like a doing like knockback.
you can't actually tell, but what's happening here is this is getting split into hitboxes, and these ones are, like, not active even though it's drawing.
Right. We really had
Um
to work to make sure that you couldn't hit things more than a tile away. Right. Because it's like, oh, there's a moblet over there. Let's just like get
Yeah,
him.
and I mean, in a way, it's the same kind of, like, limitations that the bush whack in a Zelda is doing, right? It's like, we need for gameplay reasons, we need to make sure you can't hit through a
Right.
wall
We don't want you
and
doing
just,
that.
like, kill a guy through a wall, or you can't, like, break a puzzle by hitting through a wall. Um, yes, and then
And then there's a whole other weapon. This weapon was like designing
whoa,
two
whoa, wait, wait, wait,
weapons.
wait, we're not there yet, not there
Oh,
yet.
we're not even there yet. It was like designing
Um,
three weapons.
so we got, how do I get ammo back, right?
Oh yeah, right.
I swing. I hit the guy. You can see like that little particle comes out of him and goes there. And that helps you know like when you get something or not. Like when I hit that, I didn't get anything. I didn't get a bullet.
Right. How many
Um,
shots did I get?
so like even if we were like all in this number down in the HUD, it's still nice to have this in-game world thing here because it helps you know which things give you bullets and which things don't.
Good point. Yeah.
Um, okay, I swear there was one more thing I wanted to mention.
We haven't
I
even
wanted to
talked about
mention that
the
I wanted to mention the
charges.
turning. So, like, I think we mentioned this, like, previously in another video, but, like, basically the forward directionality of the fighting can be tricky with either a D-pad or a stick. So you can see when I go into this attack, if I press up right now, I switched. It lets me switch, right? We're, like, making a choice. But if I press it, like, this many frames in, I can't switch anymore. I'm holding up and nothing's happening.
Right.
We have this friendly
Oh
little
yeah. I was
display
gonna say,
here if
look, you
this
can see what
helps.
they're doing.
Um, so,
Yeah, in the
and,
upper left
like,
hand corner, you can
something
see what the
interesting
controls are.
too is that we don't let you I'm holding back, but it's not doing anything, right? And that's so I can, like, control my spacing with the enemy backwards without, like, worrying about it flipping. Um, but so
Right. Like
yeah,
you press back and you like strafe back basically
but if
instead
I
of
press
turning.
back in, like, the very first frame, it would let me go back like
It
that.
does make you turn. Oh my god, it's so subtle.
It's so there's, like, it's like how many frames am I allowed to turn, and it depends on which direction I'm pressing. Yeah, so it's all very subtle and very controlled in how we, decide to, manipulate the character.
And little
You
difference
can
can really
see,
make a big
like, we
difference.
did this with the talked about the sub weapons, but you can see I can move during this attack, right? So I'm, like, eking out a little bit of height or, whatever I need to get. Um, and sometimes this kind of movement can be harmful, but, we found it was, like, helpful in most of the cases in this game. So yeah, let's jump onto that second weapon.
Yeah, just to let you scoot around a little bit, just having like a little bit of aftertouch is like so useful for most of the things.
Right, and it makes it feel, like, less stiff, right?
Right. You
When
got
when you're
control.
in when you're in control of it, it makes it feel more controllable. Uh,
Even if it's teeny, even if it's teeny.
yeah, even if it's teeny. Okay, so, yeah, we got the bullets here. You press the button and you shoot, and you can see you go into that little, like, I'm in this shooting frame, just so you know what's happening.
Right. Once you press it,
Um,
you're like in it for a while.
Here, let me get off these upgrades so it's clear. We got a little button that turns on all the upgrades, which I have on by default. Here we go. Um, I'm gonna go over here and uh, so yeah, some fun stuff with the hitboxes. You can see when I shoot, there's a big hitbox right by me,
Right.
even though there's nothing really happening in the animation there, right?
There's an enemy up in your face. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just making it so like if there's something close by, we're like really helping you out. And that goes away pretty quickly, and the bullet lingers, and you can see it has that direction.
Hmm.
You can aim in all direction. It bounces off the walls based on what direction it was moving and what kind of wall it hits. Like if it hits an angled wall, it will bounce off the normal of that wall. Um,
And it lasts by time or by number of bounces, or I think it lasts by time, right? Or by space. I truly don't remember.
I think it's time, but I also don't remember. But that's the kind of thing we're like tweaking in the programming, right? Like,
Right.
oh, it should have, yeah, I think it's definitely time.
Yeah.
Um, It's like, "Oh, what should happen when I shoot it off screen? What should happen when, it goes crazy? Like, should it be able to hit something off screen? Should it be able to, how many if it does, like, 3 bounces, is that too many and it should die? Or should it be allowed to live forever as long as it doesn't bounce too many times?"
Right. We want it to be
Um,
powerful because it is something that you have to like work to get, but also you shouldn't just
right.
be able to like destroy everything from all the way across the screen. But like the promise of this thing is you're supposed to be able to destroy everything from across the screen. So, where do you make
Yeah,
that determination?
one of the big things we're, like, tweaking a lot with this weapon is just basically how fast these bullets come out. We wanted them to be fast, but, like, if they're too fast, it feels uh like not like there's no like strategy or thought behind it. You just like unload really fast, right? Um, and you would always do that because it's the easiest thing
Yeah.
to do.
Well, and you would also, if you mash like so quickly, bah, 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 then it's like you would
You
just
might
shoot
just
all
like
your bullets, and for like,
yeah,
right, the enemy would be dead, and you shoot 5 extra bullets.
right. And there's like no point to like having ammo. But so we, this is like the in between of it's like it's fast, it's pretty fast. You might do that, but you might choose to like do a couple at a time
It's
and
like
then
very
switch.
fast. Yeah.
Um, yeah, just like how fast the bullets move in general, right? Like that is a very fast moving
Compared to
projectile,
like, think about like the gyro dagger, I feel like is probably much slower than that, or like other like straight melee or other straight like projectile weapons.
right?
That's like yeah,
Um,
that's like a quick. It's a quicken.
oops, I got some debugging crash. Um, that normally wouldn't happen, but we were doing a lot of testing at the end of the game, so I put a lot of extra checks. What was I trying to do? Oh, I was trying to show. Yeah, like here's look at that dagger.
And it's so
Look how
short
slow that is.
range. So
Look
slow and just lame.
Yeah, so it's like really making something that feels like it's fast, it's like strong.
Still
These
doesn't go all
bullets,
the way across the
these
screen though.
the damage numbers that we were playing with the bullets was like a real challenge, right? Because it's like you can shoot 8 of these. You could really cream something if
Right.
you like get 8 bullets and unload.
If you just mag
Um,
dump, you could kill anything.
right,
That's why
and
I
we
love this
wanted that
gun.
feeling,
Yeah,
right? We wanted that feeling of it feeling like really worth it, really worth building up that clip.
totally.
And sort of on the flip side, oh god damn it, I keep hitting that. Sorry. Um, I probably should just take that out. Um, on the flip side, we wanted it to feel like the bat was weaker, but when you make the bat feel weaker damage-wise, it's like, I don't wanna use it anymore, right?
Right. It's too lame.
So we had to find, like, in bet these numbers where it wasn't like the bat was too good and I never would switch to the bullets, and it had to be like the bat was bad enough that
Yeah.
or and, in comparison, the bullets had to be better enough compared to the bat that
Yeah.
you, like, wanted it that the bullets felt, like, worth getting and charging up for.
It feels to me now like a 40-60. It's like the bat's like, oh yeah, pretty good, but then like you switch to the bullets, and like bah, 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 and you could just you can still just like cream them. Feels good,
Yeah.
man.
Um, okay, and then we put in, when I run out of the bullets here, you'll see I switch.
Yeah.
This
When
switch
you switch,
animation
there's a hitbox. That I mean, that was I think a big insight that wasn't originally part of it.
yes. So what would happen sometime basically is like you might accidentally switch, right? We wanted this time in between that was sort of like you might get yourself in trouble by switching, right? You can't just switch and have a free bullet or switch and have a free bat, depending on what you want. But at the same time, when you ran out of bullets or you needed to switch, we didn't want it to feel like BS that I ran out of bullets and I pressed the button and something was right in front of me and I'm stuck in the switch animation. So the timing of this, I think, got a lot faster than like we initially thought
Yeah.
would be viable, and we added that hitbox to make it feel like, oh, you're like at least if you were doing if something was close by to you and you're switching, at least you'll get like a little bit of melee, guarding.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
um, Yeah, a lot of, like, what we're thinking about here too is just the input buffers, which means, like, how fast can I press that button again, and it knows I press the button, and it automatically shoots. So if I press it really fast, you might see I, like, miss some bullets, and if I press it, like, pretty fast, it'll shoot 2 bullets. Um, it's, like, getting that timing compared to the animation generally here, I think it's more like we're trying to come up with like a cross the game wide like feel for how it works. Like in a Dark Souls, you might be like, if I press the button twice, it's always gonna swing it twice. Doesn't matter what the weapon is. That's sort of the same
Right.
idea here. We're just trying to make sure, like, what's the style of this game, and make sure this fits in that, rather than like this weapon has like crazy different input buffers than you might
Right.
expect.
That's sort of a hard concept to understand. It's just like if you press attack 10 times all quick in a row real fast, then like is it going to shoot 10 bullets over the course of the next 10 seconds? Like, or when does it stop?
When does it like stop considering your input?
Yeah.
Um, uh, okay, and then we're doing the similar to the sidearms. It's like figuring out how to fit these into the combat systems. Like, their combat systems are like pretty figured out at this point. But it's like, oh, this bullet applies this knockback. This bullet is set up to have this direction. It's that kind of stuff we're like plugging into.
Right. How does that do the
Um,
bullets work on flying enemies? I think that's one special property of the bullets, right? Like, don't the bullets
Yes,
work
the
on
bullet
flying and
hit
grounded
flying
enemies?
enemies because
Oh my god, that's so
you
clutch.
can't jump during this. And again, we just wanted it, to feel like
Like
it's
this flying MF, you could just shoot him. Get out of here. Get out of here,
right.
B-bat.
The same way, like, the hammer is like that too. You can't jump during it, and we just want you to, like, feel like there's a benefit to you using that weapon.
Yeah.
Um,
Dealing with aerial enemies is like one of the most tough things in the game. So anything that could hit bolt is like real clutch.
yes. Um Yeah, so, like, plugging into all those systems and figuring out how each thing works is, like, part of the interesting thing. You can see here, one of the, like, the game kinda feel things is when I shoot, you can see I have, like, a little bit of I get pushed back when I shoot, right? Part of that we do because it, like, adds some, like, gameplay, uh like, trickiness to it, right? It's like I'm not just sitting in place and know there's a little bit of, like, my character's moving, I gotta think about how I'm moving, but, more than that, I would say it, like, gives you the sense that you shot something, right? By
Right. It's
having a
like a
little
feel thing.
recoil, right? Otherwise, if you just sat there, it wouldn't feel like I was shooting something real fast out of me.
Mm.
Um, um but you can see I can, like, I can counter and act that with my button presses. Same thing. I'm holding forward there. Here's me not holding forward. So we really like trying to let you feel like you're in control. Let's see what else. What else? What else?
I got the concept art if you want to see, I could show that, or if you want to show, I guess we got the upgrades also. We got
um,
other notes on the Buster itself.
I think that might be it. I guess the like one other thing about the ammo is you could see we didn't want to draw too many of those things, so we did two per these little blobs, right?
All right, each dot counts as 2 ammo. It's a little
Right.
it's a little over designed.
Just a little design. I'm gonna say that about the whole game.
We can admit it.
But yeah, we just we're like really trying to limit, especially because it's Game Boy, just like how many sprites are around you
Well, you
and
know, a
on
bunch of dots all over, and it's gonna be like, what? How many do I have? 7? Like, you can't count 7. That's impossible.
right? Um, yeah, and then just like how this thing follows behind you is like a little like
Right. Like turn left, like stay still and then turn left, turn right. Whoop,
right.
whoop.
It's like
And look,
very
and it goes
considered.
behind you when you turn, right? But it's like it actually changes depth. Oh, you should show it in 3D, bro. Show it, do a little do a little turn.
I always forget how to do
Debug
that.
cam orbit.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think. And then you like and then one of the clicks, yeah, yeah,
Look
right.
at that.
Ugh, right. So look, I think
They're very close in depth.
the dots go like in front of you and behind you.
Whee!
You're gonna break everyone's brain. But see, it's like everything, imagine it's all like on sheets of glass that are all at different depths. That's like sort of how it's displayed, right?
Yeah.
And so
Um,
we move them up and down in the Z depth.
okay, yeah.
That's a fun one.
I think maybe that might be it for the Buster Bat. I would say more than probably any weapon, I feel like this is one that got like a lot of fine tuning and adjustment.
We put a lot of
Um,
yeah, we put a lot of time into this one to
and
get
it
it
was
right.
hard. Yeah, it
It
was
was
hard.
hard because it's two things, and it
It's
had
two
such
things,
potential for being overpowered. And like,
right? But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good.
yeah, no, it looks great. Should I show the concept art? Should we
Yeah,
wanna
show the
talk about the
concept art.
upgrades? It's a little late,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah, I mean, well, one other interesting thing about the ammo, I'll say, but you can switch to the concept art while I'm talking, is that, the sound was something we spent a lot of time on because, we wanted the sound to also help you indicate when you're out of ammo or when you're, "Doo doo 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 doo," kinda like thing. I think we actually got rid of that at the very end of the game, right? Um, like, we pitch
Yeah.
shift it
Yeah, I
or
think it does
do
go dun
things
dun
with
dun
the
dun
sound
or
effects to
something.
help
Yeah,
you know, like, how much ammo you have or how much is, or if you're out, or if you're getting ammo. Um,
right.
yeah, I guess we could talk about the weapon upgrades too, which we didn't talk about, but,
Sure.
maybe
I
not.
mean, we
Maybe
could
we
save that
should
for
still.
another time as well, so it's almost been an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just like the multi-plane camera, like Snow White on glass planes. Yes, there I got to go to Disney in Burbank and see one of their multi-plane cameras when I was working on some Disney project. It was very cool. They had an old one like there in the lobby. Look, here's a concept art. So it's in buster mode and melee mode. I think when we said it was a battery buster, the concept artist took it very literally and made it into like a DC battery, which is like not how we actually ended up. It's like no, like not like really a battery. You guys, come on. And then it's like in buster mode, it looks a little bit more like a Tesla coil sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
And then like for the ammo counter, like it was, we had this idea that it was going to be a very like a real mechanical thing, but we ended up not having the mechanicalness of it either. And that's it.
Okay. Maybe we should jump to questions time then?
Let's talk about questions. Let's get the questions. What do we got? What do we
Okay, if
got?
you got some questions, we got the little Q&A thing at the bottom of the chat, which you can type your questions into, and that's what I will be looking and reading the questions from, although I can't see them because I am logged into the wrong account.
Okay. Well, I can see some of them.
Okay,
Um,
go for it.
and
Read out one if you want to.
I'm not there. Most of them are not related to the weapon. Love getting to see the debug mode with hitboxes. Love seeing how the sauce is made. Could we ever let you turn the hitboxes on in real life? In
In the real game?
Yeah, in the real game. Could that ever be
Maybe
like a
one day.
cheat? That might be
I
fun.
mean, it could. The problem with the hitboxes showing them, I would say, is that they aren't like we as developers know how they're working a lot of times. They aren't like what you might be drawing is
Wrong.
maybe not it's like it would take a lot of know-how from a regular person playing the game to like understand that what it actually means.
Right. Yeah. Right. uh, were the game sidearms made alongside or after the original weapons? Like making the weapons intricately must have affected how the sidearms came out. Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
say that's definitely true. We designed them all like in conjunction with one another, and we had to be careful that the sidearms didn't overlap the functionality like completely. But on the other hand, some of the sidearms are designed to augment the weapons if you like don't have one of the other weapons. So it's like if you don't have the buster, then we need to make sure that there's some kind of long range weapon, or if you have the daggers or something that's very short range, you're going to need something else to augment it. And so yeah, I mean, we would definitely design them all together. We sort of did it in waves, right? Like there was a wave of sidearms, and then we like were working on the weapons, and then at I would say more near the end of development, we did another big wave of sidearms. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly a holistic development.
Um, okay. Um, do animation frames dictate gameplay tempo, or do you have to do it the other way? Gameplay tempo dictating animation frame times. How tricky can it get to add in a new attack into existing tempo? I think it does sort of go both ways. Sometimes, I mean, first, like the GDD is likely specifying some kind of animation timing. Oh, this is a slow attack, or very specifically saying this should take 10 frames of recovery after the attack, and the attack is out for 10 frames or whatever.
Right.
So a lot of times it's built like the animation itself is already built to that specification. But when we're going in and programming it, there's lots of reasons why you might mess with the timing. From like, oh, this is a swipe attack, right? We got to do swipe, and we want that second swipe to actually like cut out some of the frames so it's faster, or like it could work better with the input. Um, we might be like trying to keep the timing as best we can, but there's like literal reasons that are, the reasons that are just designed in the GDD that are describing why we have to change it. Um, and sometimes like the animation timings are just like totally whack and don't make any sense. And we're adjusting those, but that's why we have like control over that in the tool. So all
Mhm.
those frame timings, like, the artists are making a initial pass at it, but as programmers, we're really like messing with it. We're trying to keep the same intent of the animation usually. So sometimes they'll be like, this frame is really meant to be held with my sword up in the air, and it will look weird if it's like too fast.
Right.
We'll try to keep like the rhythm of the animation essentially intact while we're adjusting those frame timings.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
sometimes
it's a push and pull, right? Like animators and programmers certainly like butt heads a little bit in terms of like, you got to
right,
show my
and
animation.
right, sometimes we'll have to do brutal things like we're just cutting out this frame. Or we'll be like, we have to add a new frame or 2
Right.
here
This needs
because
to
it
take
just
five
it won't
times
work.
longer.
Right.
It's like, well, what's the character gonna do during that time? Or I mean,
Right.
it's also like size, right? Like the character needs to swing the hammer, but it could only take up like this much space. It's like, well, what do you want as an animator? What do you want me to do? It's like you figure it out.
Yeah. Why after shooting battery buster and swap modes, and don't move the animation doesn't play? The swap happens after you start moving. Why after shooting battery buster and swap modes and don't move, the animation doesn't play?
The swap only happens when you start moving. Is that true?
I'm not sure what that question's asking. Do you understand it?
I'm not 100% sure. I think you're saying that if you run out of battery buster ammo and then swap modes, then then it won't happen until you start moving. Like if you shoot all your shots and then when you press a button, it will swap.
Oh, yes, it doesn't happen until you press it. Um, I or no, does that how it works? Let me check.
We're gonna have to. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Um, okay, when I run out of bullets, I immediately swap.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
So,
the question is.
okay.
We'll
What
find
were
out.
the
Maybe
other
there'll be a
two?
follow-up.
What were the other two potential Kickstarter weapons if the Kickstarter goal was hit?
I
This
think
was the two. This
this
was them.
this was one of the 2, yes. If and the other one is the shield. Uh, what software do you use to create the sound effects? It's all in Furnace Tracker. That's what
Yes.
Jake uses. Did you have any other ideas for switch weapons besides the battery buster? I think we sort of just thought we just came up with a bunch of ideas, and then we sort of said which things could be the 2 that we're switching between. Uh,
Right. But the
I
idea of
don't
having
think
like a melee and a projectile, I think, was always like in
that
the
the only idea, the only
right.
consideration.
Right. It's not. It wasn't like Bloodborne where it's like we'll have a short weapon and like a long pole or something.
Yeah. Were the bosses designed to have weaknesses to certain types of weapons? Not really.
Mm-mm.
I think they naturally do.
Yeah, it just sort of shook
Um,
out like that.
yeah, like if you're in an arena with walls, then the battery buster can like easily bounce bullets all around and take advantage of that. And if it doesn't have walls, the bullets are like, much harder to use.
Right. They'll go off the
Um,
side.
Right. So I mean, I think just by having different types of arenas and different types of bosses, it naturally like played into that kind of
Right.
concept.
But we did have to take that kind of stuff into account. Like, I mean, I feel like there were some places where we had to decide if we wanted to have the walls there because the battery buster was shooting off the side of it's just like an open wall and it like doesn't collide, which makes it a lot harder. Like if you're shooting
Right.
off like for the like train boss, it's just like all there's no wall.
Right, right. Um why was the blaster and shield removed from the starter weapon lineup? It wasn't removed. It was actually always designed as like a Pokemon pick 3, and then it would be like in the in OS 6 you would get all 5.
Yeah.
like, available. We just thought I mean, I think it was more just about I mean, one, just having that, like, Pokemon fun, picking 3 kind of
5 is
idea.
too many, you know?
5 is too
Like,
many, yeah.
humans can actually only pick between 2 things, and when you pick between 3 things, first you get rid of 1, and then you pick between the 2, right? Anyway,
Yeah,
that has
and
nothing to do with anything. I just like talking about
and we sort of thought of the shield and these 2 weapons and the buster as being, like, more advanced in a way, or at least, like,
they're, like, more
complex.
complicated, yeah.
Yes. And so we thought, like, the just when we made the first 3, we, like, knew they'd be the starters, and we knew these would be the more complicated ones, and we built them out that way.
Yep.
If you're willing to share which weapon broke the most, or at least, were the hardest to develop for, in your opinion? I think that I mean, this and the shield, really.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I
know
mean, they're
which
more
one.
complicated, so it makes sense that it would
Right.
be harder.
Yeah. The shield was really tricky. I mean, I think because it was the last one, and just making sure it's like, what is actually gonna be different and interesting and engaging, and just getting the idea of it being a parrying weapon, like, you have to slot that in with everything in the game. It's just as a concept, we sorta had a parry, which is the dodging pendulum, which is a trinket,
Yeah.
but it was a different kind of parry, like, you have to hit to parry, right?
I
Um,
mean, that's, like, huge. It was like making a parry reaction for everything in the whole game, right? That was,
yeah,
like, a very that's, like that was a big pain. But this was, like, too it broke it didn't break as much, though. Like, I would
yeah,
say also the parry pushed things out of the world more. I'd say the shield. The shield
yeah,
was the biggest pain in the butt. That was my
yeah,
final answer. Final
I
answer.
think so, yeah. When you shoot one bullet and don't move and press the swap button, the swap doesn't happen. It is delayed until you move. If
Alright.
you shoot one bullet, if you shoot one bullet and press the swap button, you
Okay.
know what? I think that's if you use the other button, which went in the last second. That's probably why. You probably found something that was not intended.
Oh my gosh. Get it in there. Let's log it.
Um, uh, was there a super promising weapon concept that didn't make the cut? I know Alec wanted to do a phonograph, but I think that was a sidearm, wasn't it?
There was definitely a way cool phonograph concept art that got made. I feel like that was a like a organ grinder. That was one of the main weapons. That would have been fun. A
Yeah.
sonic weapon.
Um, okay. Any more weapon questions? Otherwise, since we just came out and this is the first episode, we said we maybe would talk a little bit about it coming out. So if people wanted to ask questions about that
Any
too,
questions about the Mina release? Here, we'll look in the live chat and see
or
if there's any questions as well.
oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
Love seeing how the sauce gets made. Very cool.
Did you draw any
Uh,
inspiration from the seed shooter in Zelda Oracle of Ages, especially with the bouncing bullets? I don't remember that being referenced, but it's probably all in our brains.
Definitely, definitely. It is really like it now that you think about it, and it's like in 8 directions, and it like bounces on the walls. Oh my god, we're hacks.
Uh, would the whirling saw and bloodletter from Bloodborne possibly work as Mina weapons?
But
Or would
seems
there be mechanical issues? I mean, I'm sure you could get most weapons to work. It's just figuring out how to slot them in the right way, and, like, how to play with the, like,
yeah. How's
I
it
guess
all going to work?
one thing is making sure it doesn't, like, overlap with the other functionality, and then one thing is, yeah, figuring out just, like, how is it restrictive in a way that matches this game.
Right. The whirly gig saw is something that you hold out and it goes do 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 like a
Yeah.
multi-hit weapon. You know
Yeah,
that could
we
be
did
fun.
actually I think we thought of what's the sidearm? The lantern. We were talking about that kind of thing with the
Right,
sidearm.
like a cluster bomb
Uh,
kind of attack.
yeah.
Were we inspired by
Um,
sad endings like the Pied Piper of Hamlin? I mean, no, not really. What happens in the Pied Piper Hamlin? Do all the rats die? Or what's it? He leads all the rats, and then they go off a cliff. Isn't that a good ending? He's trying to get rid of them, right? I don't know.
Um, that is all the live chat questions I could find up relating to the weapon.
All right.
How many people? Okay, here's jumping into the questions about the
Oh,
game
this
or
is a good
release.
one.
This how many people said they were soft locked in the swamp?
A
I
million.
probably responded to 50 emails this weekend about people thinking they were soft locked in the swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, part of that is like I think it's funny because I mean people are very nice and they play games at the start and they're trying to help us, right? They're like, "Oh, I wanna help the developers and find bugs and issues and, like, report it so other people don't have problems." Like, I wanna be, like, a helpful, good, like, person, and, so I think they're often playing with that mindset of the game is broken.
Everyone's so
Um,
helpful.
yes, and that's partly funny, but we did know about that part, and we actually made it so you got stuck there, intentionally because we knew people were playing with this, like, Zelda mindset of, "I think I need the flippers to get through the swamp."
Right. And if you turn around and go do some other stage that's like way harder, that's worse. So we wanted to like force you to know that you could do the water. And like, I mean, like we don't have an object that you can only dive into. But if we did, that was where I would put it.
Are there any difficulties to bringing the game to multiple platforms? Yes, it's always a huge undertaking. Every single platform you release on is very a lot of work.
Yes.
um, Thoughts on nerfing the primed vial pouch? Did we nerf it?
I mean, we definitely nerfed it. We nerfed and buffed all of the trinkets 100
Yeah.
times to get them to where they needed to be.
Are you asking if we should nerf
Do
it
you
more?
want
Is
us to
that what?
nerf it? I mean, Prime Vial Pouch is definitely good, but I mean, have you tried vascular syrup?
Vascular syrup is definitely.
Because that's pretty
There's a
good
lot.
too.
The thing is, there's a lot of overpowered trinkets, especially if you know how to use
Right.
them.
I mean, right. Or like, how could you take off Proto Spark
Right.
if you need it? If you need to live,
Yeah, what I
then
found funny about, like, "Here's initial tips to play the game," I'm like, "Those are not the initial tips I would give."
right.
They're just like, If you really wanna help people, this is what I would have said use these things because that's, like, they're way stronger."
yeah.
Now that it's released, will there be a well-deserved R&R for the team, or is it back to work on the next project? I think we'll be rolling out some vacations. The problem is when you release a game, there's a billion bugs and issues, and
Got to
we're
fix
trying to
it.
market it, and we're trying to
Got
help
to put
people,
it out.
buy it.
I couldn't
Yeah, so
relax right now. Are you kidding me? I did. I just, yeah. So I think we're going to be taking like we'll be taking like everyone's going to take time in a tiered
yeah.
way. And it's I mean, developing Mina was the real rush, and now we can like relax a little
Yeah, we can
for
watch people play it, and that's
yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to really be gearing up into like a big crazy development for a little bit because we're the same team that's developing the games is the one that's marketing it. So
And fixing it.
and fixing it. So we're going to be doing all that. But yeah, I mean, your question of Shovel Knight DX win, I mean, that's what we got to talk about.
Um, okay. Should we end it there?
Let's end it.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. This has been
Thank you so
another
much.
fantastic episode 4, even though the last one was 3.5.
Yep. YCG Explains. Thank you for watching. We'll be doing more of these. Thank you for supporting the game.
Yeah,
Go get me
go tell people to buy it and buy it yourself if you
get
haven't.
it
Buy it on every
yourself. We just put
platform.
on new bundles with a bunch of other cool games that
Yeah,
are
tell
go look at them all.
if you want like Mugenics or already have it or No Rest for the Wicked, tell your friends if they have those games, they could get Mina for even cheaper.
Get them all. Get them all. All right.
All right, have a
Bye.
good one, everybody.